Ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed show for you today. After all, South Africa is a movie. Some might class it as a horror movie, but others would class it as a comedy. And I, for one, would agree it's a comedy. But before we get on to the main video, if I can remind you, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the work I do here, you know the drill. You can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description box below. So before we get on to any of the main stories, the first is, you may recall that a number of weeks ago, I did a video around the NHI. One of the things I said around the NHI and why I didn't support nationalisation of the healthcare system was that once the government controls the healthcare system, they can pretty much use the whole idea of a medical emergency or a medical crisis to declare whatever they want. If that means that they don't want to pay for cigarettes, for example, or, lung cancer because of cigarettes, they just ban cigarettes. We've seen this in the United Kingdom. And I did say during that video that one of the things they may do is attempt to ban guns. Because, gun crime, and they don't want to pay for people getting repaired from being shot. Who knew how close to the money I would be? Because the Surgeon General in the United States has declared gun violence a medical emergency. Now, think about it. What could they do with the medical emergency? Well, they could effectively ban guns, for your safety. Because of medical health. Yeah, what a load of rubbish. Communists in action. Talking of gun violence, I thought I would show you a clip of a man who was about to get robbed. And he thought, nah, I'll punch you in the face. I mean, we've all heard, don't take a fist to a gunfight. But here's a clip of somebody that did just that, successfully. Talking of violence in South Africa, even the taxi drivers these days are just getting gutful with it. And, they're actually getting quite creative in the way that they deal with the attempted hijackers. Here's a clip of a taxi driver going, "Fine, you want to hijack me? Let me show you how I drive." Enjoy.
Vamos? Shoot me?
Before we get on to the main story, there is one more news story that I would like to share with you. And that is Conscious Caracal. For those of you who don't know, Conscious Caracal is one of the head chiefs at AfriForum. But before he did that, he was a YouTuber. Well, Conscious Caracal asked News24 about the Young Briar incident and said there was an attempted assassination of Young Briar's career by a News24 journalist, who also was so self-righteous that, as I covered in a previous video, was so willing to say on Twitter how great it was that he was so privileged to hold all the people in power accountable for what they do. So the question is, did News24 hold him accountable for fabricating a story? And the answer would appear, yeah, you blocked. Because News24 doesn't want to have to account for any of the things it does. So ladies and gentlemen, yet again, an example of the news taking zero accountability for fabricating stories. As I said on the video, this is political activism, and that's what the news is now. They're not the news, they're political activists. So if you really want to support Young Bry, there's two ways that you could do so. I suppose buy his product, like Conscious Caracal suggests, or maybe buy one of his books. Either or, I'm not sponsored on either. So on to the main news story. Yeah, it's Action SA again. You know, the boring situation now in Tshwane. And I appreciate some of you now may be bored of the entire debacle. But anyway, Cilliers was asked why he was actually removed from office. And he had this to say.
That Action SA left the coalition because Herman Mashaba thought that if we were successful, if we solved the problems of Hammanskraal water, if we turned around the finances, if we gradually improved service delivery, that Action SA would not be credited by voters for that. I think he came to that conclusion based on their poor performance in the general election. He had a lot of regret missing the GNU bus, and I think this is repositioning himself. And that played into the hands of a Gauteng faction of the ANC who has been trying by hook or crook to get control of Tshwane since 2016. And I think that's what played out. Nothing to do with local issues, nothing to do with service delivery or the future of Tshwane. It's all power and party political calculations.
Now, since removing the White DA, because we all know the Whiteys are racist, Action SA seems to have appointed itself a Gauteng executive. It's very ethnically diverse. You can let me know what you think in the comment section below. With that being said, the actual main point of this story is that Action SA is attempting a degree of political manoeuvring with its now acting mayor, who's pretending to actually do work in Gauteng. Have a look. Now, who actually believes that this individual is paving a road? Like, if you do, you're stupid. This isn't a mayor in action. This is a mayor attempting to do some photo ops. Yes, these people have no shame. So in response to the DA being ejected from Tshwane, the DA says it will leave no stone unturned. It will regain the city of Tshwane at all costs. And Cilliers Brinks had this to say around his chances of potentially retaking the mayorship.
I'm fighting to be the mayor again.
What are your chances of getting back in there? And how's it going to unfold? What is the timeline?
I'm going to be very precise about this.
Yes.
I think there's about 30% chance that I could be back as mayor. But you know what? We've seen these things in South Africa before. We are the folks that win with 1 point. And, you know, even if I win with 1 vote, it is worth the fight. I'm fighting to be the mayor again.
30% for the win.
Breakfast with Martin Bester.
Now, Helen Zille says she's given Fikile Mbalula an ultimatum. I really don't like that phrase, an ultimatum. That's not what you do in politics. You don't give ultimatums. You do political negotiations. And if you're good at it, you get what you want. If you're not good at it, you don't. But outside of Helen, John Steenhuisen has even been roped in. And John's even going to lobby the president to try to get Cilliers' job back. Now, I for one noted that today there was a vote in Swellendam. And during that vote, the ANC attempted to take over the municipality. So here's a suggestion. Why don't you give Swellendam to the ANC, and in return, they'll give you Tshwane? Because we are assured that the DA is acting in good faith. And I must say, I'm starting to question whether they are. But Nyasa Lesufi says, if they were, then the whole thing would be replicated around the country. And how come it's never replicated in the Western Cape? Well, that's a good question. You could always test it now. Swellendam's going through forms of disputes at the moment. Talking of disputes, one of the things that I found rather interesting was that apparently the city managers had to come out and defend Cilliers' departure from office, because apparently some municipal workers booed him. And the city manager described the whole event as insensitive, humiliating, degrading. He found it inflammatory and offensive, and says that municipal workers should be apolitical. They shouldn't be shouting at Cilliers. They should have some dignity. Yeah, but you tend to forget. Cilliers isn't giving them a pay rise. He says the city can't afford it. And now they know that the next lot are going to give them a pay rise. Got to be honest, I'd be booing him too. Cilliers can grow up here, I'm sure. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he didn't take it too personally. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the same type of place where we've seen the EFF literally throw and hit people with chairs. I don't think some booing really hurt his feelings that much. Anyway, that's just my views. You can let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for now. It's actually quite an entertaining show. So if you really found it entertaining, yet again, welcome to Buy Me a Coffee. Anyway, until tomorrow, bye.
Capitalism is bad. I don't like it.
Yeah, really easy for someone to say that grew up in a really nice house in one of the best school districts in Texas.
I know, but it's...
Who has the rent paid for, that is able to go to Europe and on a whim with their sister, who's able to do girl math, who's able to be fun employed. Yeah, it's easy to say that the system's bad when you're doing that because you've never had to work for it. You never got to actually see what happens when you put in the work and get benefits and actually have a little bit of responsibility and actually build something or do anything. You've grew up in privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege beyond privilege. It's only the people who speak like you that grew up in a world where you've never had to do a single thing in your life. So I don't want to hear about that. What a joke.
I'm sorry. I just wish everybody had like...
I wish a lot of things. Wishing doesn't get people places. You try to create the best systems possible. This doesn't matter. Oh my